Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, BBH Creates. My name is Brittany and today's video is for Vlogmas Day 11. So we're getting to the middle of our Vlogmas journey, and I had mentioned in another video about how I thought it might be a really good idea if I made a book to keep all of my notes and the things, activities and things that I did during Vlogmas in a book. So that's what we're going to do today. We're going to start making that book. We're going to use some leftover wrapping paper, and this is going to be multiple parts, but for part one we're going to get our book covers prepped. Alright, so what we have here today, my trusty Stanley box cutter knife. I love this knife. It's very good for cutting boards, book boards. We have our little corner miter clear guiding tool. We have some glue stick. Normally when I make books I use a PVA glue. However, I've not mastered using wrapping paper as bookboard cover, so with PVA I noticed that the wrapping paper gets bubbled and kind of wrinkly and wavy, and it just doesn't adhere to the board very well. So I'm going to try it with this and see how that goes. Then of course we have some scissors, a pencil, a self-healing cutting mat that is 12 by 18, an 18-inch corked back metal ruler, and then this is just the backboard of a mixed media art paper pack that was spiral bound. So I'm just going to recycle it and use it as my front and back cover. Alright, so to get started, what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim off this part here, and to do that I'm just going to use the little grid on my mat to align my edges, and then it looks like if I cut at 12 that would be a nice even cut to clear that off of the edge. So we're going to go there. This is going to take several cuts, and I find when I'm doing this it's better if you stand so that you're putting your body weight into your cuts. However, I'm seated, so we'll see if it takes any extra cuts. And you don't want to try to cut your board all at once. That could lead to dulling your blade quicker, and it can also lead to a jagged cut. Alright, so there we have cut our edging off. And you know, I don't know what you might use this for, but what's coming to mind, so that you don't just discard it, is if you wanted to have like a handy, readily available swatch board available for like bookbinding threads or even yarns. If you're a crocheter or a knitter, you could take your threads, embroidery floss even, and put them in each of these holes hanging down, and then you could have that in your sewing kit or whatever, and then you can say, okay, I want this color, or no, I'm going to work with this one today. So I might actually do this with my bookbinder thread, make a little thread swatch. So I'm going to keep a hold of that. Alright, now what you want to do is, because I want my book to be, well, I wanted to do it square, but I'm afraid that this is too, just getting situated guys, bear with me. I'm afraid that it is too short, so we'll see though. I'm going to measure out the middle now, and then we're going to make another cut it in half. Okay, it looks like about there. So I need to cut it 9. And the other benefit to standing up when you're cutting too is it's easier to see if your ruler is perfectly straight. But we're going to work with a seated position today and see where that gets us. Alright. So now I should have 2 even sides. That's pretty spot on. Alright, so to get, you could leave it like this. This could be your book. But I think I want mine to be square. Or more square anyways. Decisions. I'm going to go ahead and make it square. Okay, so I'm going to cut 2 boards at twice. 2 boards twice, sorry. At the same time. So normally I would recommend you don't do this because you risk your board sliding, which could result in an uneven cut. But I'm going to apply a lot of pressure and hopefully that won't happen. So I'm going to go and take about 3 inches off. I'm just eyeballing this, guys. I don't have like a pattern or a cheat sheet or anything I'm going by. I'm going with what feels right and what looks right, just from eyeballing it. Alright, now we're going to start cutting these. This is going to take longer because I have 2 stacked. But if you're careful and you just repeat your cutting motions, you'll get through. Felt like I'm through there, okay. So we'll keep going into the second one now. Applying a lot of pressure so that it doesn't move. Okay, I'm through there. That looks pretty square to me. The edge is pretty smooth. It's almost spot on. There's a little difference in it, but I'm not angry about that. It's pretty close. Alright, so these again, I'm probably going to keep these. I might turn this into another watercolor swatch book, splash card book. That's about the size of that book that I'm working in. Or I might cut it in half and make 2 small square books. But either way, I'm going to hold on to this because I could definitely use it for something else. Alright. So I'm just going to hang my ruler up so it's out of the way. Okay. Now I already cut that paper down that I said I wanted to make my book out of the other day, guys. It was this, this one here. This Nightmare Before Christmas. Oh, you know what? I said I wanted to do this for an extension of my James Luke Burke Virtual Voyage 8. So we're actually not going to use this for this book. So why don't I use another paper? I think that one's too small. It's kind of perfect that this happened because I'm anticipating a... Oops, sorry about that, guys. I shook ya. I'm anticipating a delivery today of some papers that I ordered from Italy. And there's a specific paper. I'm just going to use this one here. There is a specific paper that I wanted to use in a Vlogmas video for a book that I'm going to make with you guys. I'm just cutting this real quickly off camera because the roll will not fit in the frame. Almost there. Okay. I'm just going to use those guidelines on the back that I told you guys I got really excited about the other day. And I'm just going to cut it down to a workable size. This way you can see what I'm doing. That looks about right. Would both of these fit on here? It's gonna be a little snug, but I'm gonna try it. Okay. So I could probably cut safely between this square. So we're gonna do that. And what I mean by safely is because you need a specific amount on each side to cover the book. And you'll see what I mean as we get into that step. Alright, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work one at a time. So I'm going to set this aside. There we go. Okay, and I'm just going to cover this mostly around the edges. Like I said, I've never used this glue to put paper down on a book board. This isn't really book board, but it will do for the purpose of this book. So I don't know how this is going to turn out, but we're going to give it a go. Okay, and just make sure you leave about the same amount on either side of your board. I'm just going to press that really firmly. Clean up some of my glue. Okay, so you have some bubbles. I'm just going to smooth those out. Do I have a bone folder handy? My little kit here. No, let me grab one real quick. You know what? I'll just use this. Why not? This is that leftover piece from the book board or the cardboard we just cut, and it works just as well. Okay, see there's a big bubble there, probably because I didn't get glue there, but we're gonna leave it and we're gonna keep working. So next what we need to do is, oh, I didn't use my pencil, oh well, I'm eyeballing this. I do that a lot, guys, sorry. I had the pencil here intended fully to do measurements for you, but I always eyeball stuff. So now what we're going to do is I'm going to cut this down a little bit. Alright. Do the same on the other side, just a little bit. That should do. I'm going to put my little corner miter on there. Cut off my corners. Alright. There we go. Okay. So then what we want to do, we want to glue our sides down. I really wish that I could find like a go-to method for working with wrapping paper for book covers, because there are so many beautiful wrapping papers that would make excellent book covers. But we'll just have to keep playing with it until we find the thing that works. Okay, so here's a little tip. Once you get your sides down, you're going to do the opposites first at the same time. You're going to want to tip in your corners of your neck sides before you glue them down. So I'll use my pencil for this. Okay. Usually I use a bone folder for this, but because I didn't grab one this morning, we're just gonna make do with what we have. There you go. Okay, and now you can proceed to glue those sides down. And what that's going to do, whoop, is give you a smooth corner edge. Alright. I think I can squeeze some more glue out of this stick before breaking into a new one. Alright. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the next one. This one's in pretty good shape. Set that there. Move this down. Now I'm gonna go ahead and try to get more glue on this one to see if it makes a difference. And that's a wrap for that. Okay. Let me get in here and get another one. You can see I buy in bulk because I do a lot of collage projects. So I like to have a lot of those available. Alright. Just get this one going. Yes, I'm going to apply more glue to this one and see if I can get a better handle on the wrinkling of the paper. That might just be a characteristic of working with that type of paper. If you have any tips or advice, or if you could share your experience with how you get it to not bubble, please do so in the comments. Please share with us, with me. I would love to know. Okay, that one does look better in comparison, so maybe that's the trick. Okay, that one does look a lot better actually. Problem solved? I don't know. Again, I'm just going to cut down the sides a little bit. And then we're just going to repeat the process that we did on the other cover, which is to do both sides at the same time. Oh, I didn't do my corners. Hold that thought. You're going to want to do your corners first and then do your sides. There we go. Alright. Perfect. Now we'll continue gluing our side. That feels pretty good. Do the other one. Press that down. Alright, clean up that glue there. So then we're going to fold in our corners. Again, usually I would use a bone folder to do this, but I don't have one readily available, so I'm just using this pencil, which is actually working pretty well, surprisingly. And then you're going to glue those sides down. And even though it looks like I'm applying a lot of pressure as I'm doing this, you can see like my fingertips turning purple and white. I'm actually not putting that much pressure on the paper itself because I don't want it to tear. Alright, and if you're messy with glue like me, see how I did that there? You can always put like a throw paper down, and I just call them throw papers, but it's paper like you're gonna throw away anyways, and this way it keeps your mat clean. Or you could just take like a spare and like wipe up the excess. But you might not want to do that with your corners, because now that I think about it, I have done some creative projects with these. I've actually used them as decorations on covers of books. You could use them to make a Christmas tree, Christmas card or postcard. Glue those down on it. You could, if it was like a heavier cardstock, you could put some eyelets in the corner, top corners, and string some string through them and hang them as like a mobile. There's all kinds of things you can do with them. So I just like to save everything, because you never know when you're going to need something like that. And then you don't want to have to, you know, go out and buy again. Okay, so here's our two covers. They don't look too bad. I get better results with the other papers that I use and with PVA, but like I said, I'm trying to learn different techniques for working with wrapping paper, because there's just so many pretty kinds. Alright, and then here's the fun part. On the back side, you can either do end papers with your text block, or you can do end papers of a different kind. And because I'm probably going to put this together using a Coptic stitch, I'm going to do different end papers. And let's see if I have any paper laying around. This is a heavier weight paper. Will that cover? Yes, it will. Do I want white? I think green might be nice. Let's see if I can get some green out from under my book press here. Can pull this signature out. Maybe. Oh, I'm taking the whole block with me. There we go. Sorry if I shook you again. Alright, so I'll just take one of these pages from the signature. I'll leave that out so I know it's not 5. And then let's cut this down to size. So if our covers are 6 by 6, let's do end papers that are 5 by 5. Okay, set that aside for a minute. Just lining this up with the grid on my mat. And then I'm going to get a smaller cork backed ruler so that it's easier to work with. Go about here. I think that might work. Let's see if the 5 by 5 works. It should. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to glue this one down. I'm going to do the edges on the green and then the center of our cover. And then again, I'm just going to eyeball it and see if I can get it centered. That looks pretty good. Alright, so there you have it. I'm going to do the same with the other. I'm going to cut this one down to 5 by 5. And I know I'm cutting at the 6 line, but that is because I have the paper starting on the 1 block. So it's not flush with 0. I know you might be thinking, well, you're going to make a 6 by 6. No, I don't have my paper all the way over. Okay. Make sure this one covers. It does. I'll hang this back up out of the way. And then let's go ahead and glue this one down. Again, I'm just going to eyeball it. That looks good. Does not have to be perfect. This is just a personal tracking book for myself for Vlogmas 2023. Alright guys, there you have it. Front and back cover of our soon-to-be Vlogmas journal. That's all I'm going to do for today. Tomorrow we're going to do the signatures for inside our book, and then if there's enough time I will show you guys how I stitch it together. But for today we just did the front and back covers. Alright, so thank you guys so much for watching. I hope that you will continue on this bookmaking journey with me so that we can complete our Vlogmas book together. And I will see you in tomorrow's video. Bye guys!